Thanks for joining. Today, I'm going to talk about something that I think so many of us really need to hear right now, and that is the art of slow decorating. Welcome to Feng Shui Living, the podcast designed for busy women who want to de stress, live with intention, and create a home that truly supports their well being. Each week, I'll bring you practical tips, insightful ideas, and simple strategies to enhance both your home and your life. Let's get started. Welcome to Feng Shui Living. I am your host, Lisa Morton. I'm so happy you're here because we have a really good topic today that has kind of been on my mind for a while, and I can't wait to dive in deeper. So, I'm an interior designer of over 20 years and certified Feng Shui master teacher, and this intuitive guide here to support you in creating a home that feels like a sanctuary. Because we're living in this world that tells us everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be finished, photo shoot ready, Instagram worthy, and especially our home. And we can feel like it needs to be like that overnight. So I want to invite you to a more grounded, nourishing energy, one that really honors the process of creating a magnificent space and also honors your intuition. And that is the art of slow decorating. So this podcast topic really came to me after some deep thinking. I was on a car drive. We were driving to Cleveland to see some family, and I listened to the podcast Diary of a CEO with with Stephen Bartlett. He was interviewing Simon Sinek. If you've never listened, it's a really good podcast. Little longer episodes. I have to break them up, but I love them on long car trips. And this episode was great. They were talking about AI and what they see as the future of AI. And Simon had something that really stuck with me. And I thought about the entire rest of the drive. And so this episode came from that. And he's talking about how everyone's saying it's not about the destination, it's about the journey getting there. And how many times have you heard that? I mean, I know I hear that a lot. And I believe that, right? But with AI, as they were saying, we don't get a journey. You enter the prompt, you get the answer. You're not going through that experience of mulling over your options and how are you going to navigate this. And then I got to thinking about my own book that I'm writing. And have I used AI? You betcha. I have an issue with commas, number one. And so I might add a sentence in and be like, do I have too many commas? I also seem to be missing the button in my brain for a thesaurus. So if I need a word, it's been helpful. So definitely. But this process of writing my book has been so rewarding and healing and deeply connected. And I cannot describe it. Maybe you've written a book or you've had this experience of working on something so hard and it really being an amazing journey. And I want the design and decoration of your space to also be that amazing experience. It's not about the destination, it is about the journey. So, what the heck is slow decorating? Maybe you've heard that term before, maybe not. It's the idea that your home does not have to be finished quickly. It doesn't have to look showroom ready all the time to be meaningful. It's about approaching your space as this living, breathing energy, a family member, and also one that continually evolves over time because it's not going to stay the same. Our lives evolve. So our lives evolve and our lives change. And I know I've experienced this. I've worked with a lot of clients that they're so excited to move into their new home and they want to invite everyone over and host a party and show off their space. They want to have house guests instantly. And we're not experiencing our space before we set it up. Sometimes you do need to get into a space and experience the energy, but also just how you're going to navigate. You know, as you start moving through a room, you're going to find the best location for the sofa. I mean, design wise, we can see what there's this option or this option, right? And you're going to know once you start moving in this space, moving about you and your family, you'll start noticing, right? It's a process. I was really mad at myself when I pushed myself on something that I regretted. So in our current home, we moved in, and I normally am a slow decorator now because I've learned how the importance of going slow and finding those pieces that feel right. And there might be a temporary piece, right? You just have to have a chair in a corner until you figure it out. But I pushed myself, and we have on either side of our fireplace, there's a perfect spot for artwork. And the previous owners had beautiful artwork up there, and there's behind them is a electrical plug to put a light. Fantastic, right? Well, I didn't have art. And so we had these big, ugly electrical plugs. And I didn't know what I was going to put up there. And they were so ugly to look at. We had beautiful green walls and then these big, white, ugly plastic plugs. So I ended up ordering something off the internet, and they worked. But every time I walked through that room, I knew they weren't right. They didn't speak to me. I didn't love them. They just sort of worked. And I still regret buying them. So now they're in the basement, and I need to figure out something to do with them. So here I am with clutter. I need to get rid of them. Okay, I'm making a note. I have to handle this today. I have to get rid of them, donate them. But, I was pushing myself. And sure, it was because they were the ugly electrical boxes, but I regret not slowing down and just giving myself another week or two to really explore some different artwork. So that's just my personal experience. Slow decorating invites you to choose pieces with intention, right? Not just hurrying and covering a spot. It lets the room really unfold naturally and allow you to reflect who you're becoming, reflect your next steps, not just where you've been. That artwork from the old house forced in, or the table that you don't really love from your last house. It has some not so great memories, but you're forcing it in. Again, temporary is one thing, but we're talking long term here. So it's not about trends. It's not about perfection. You guys know I'm always talking about being a recovering perfectionist. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about patience, because it's going to take some patience, and deep connection with your home. So now that we're talking about that deep connection, I want to take a moment to share with you my brand new offering, my signature service, my intuitive home method. This is a 30-day one-on-one service. We will be paired up. We'll be buddy-buddy for 30 days, and I'm going to be there supporting you through all of it. This includes a Feng Shui assessment. We look at your space. We dive deep into what you really need in your space. What is your soul asking for? What does your body need? And what does your family need? This includes weekly phone calls and focuses on a 4-pillar system that I have created. I developed this from my years of experience, my passion in helping people. It's parts Feng Shui, holistic design, and coaching as well. So I hope you will explore this opportunity if it feels right for you. I currently have an amazing discount on my website. I'm only going to take 3 clients a month to do this. I have to keep up with all the rest of my clients, my workload, the podcast, everything I'm juggling. But I know this is so needed. People have been asking for something similar to this. So here you go. If you want to jump on, go over to my website and sign up for my newsletter to be notified of any other fun new things that come along. And also, you'll get information on my brand new offering, the Intuitive Home Method. So let's continue, and let's talk about why. Why would you want to embrace slow decorating? If this topic is brand new to you, it's number one, it's going to reduce overwhelm. When you give yourself permission to take your time, the decorating and design of your space can really be a beautiful journey and not this pressure-filled task. You will make decisions with a clear head versus urgency. Someone's expecting an answer tomorrow. I have to have the paint color for the painter tomorrow morning, right? You will have more peace as you're implementing things into your home. And just like everything, I think do everything with ceremony, with beautiful intentions, not rushed, frantic, trying to get prepared and finished to host the party. Number 2 is it build a deeper connection to your home. Each piece you bring in will have a purpose, will have a story, will have a reason as to why you chose that blue vase. And this creates that emotional layering effect that really can help turn your home into a family member. I know this sounds silly sometimes, but that's truly what I believe. Your home can be this family member if you open yourself up to that. It also supports sustainable living. Like I have that piece that I wasted money on and I have to donate it. And sure, I'm donating it, but I shouldn't have spent my money on it. I shouldn't have wasted the packaging to ship it here, everything. So think about slowing down, and you might have the opportunity to invest in an heirloom item or find a beautiful secondhand piece, a cool vintage piece, something that's meaningful instead of just impulse buying. And then number 4 is it also aligns with intuitive living. You're not decorating from the outside in, the visual things you're seeing. You're listening to what your space is asking for and then tuning into that energy. That creates a space that's totally different. And if you know, you will feel more grounded, more alive, and more you. So here are some tips to really embracing slow decorating. If you're like, "Ooh, this sounds interesting." And it doesn't have to be something when you're moving. It can just be moving forward. I'm going to take on a slower, more intentional approach to decorating and designing my space. So this can be starting with one room or even one corner if one room is too much to take on. So don't try to do everything at once, but just ask yourself, where in this space, where in this room, do I crave more beauty? Do I crave more ease? Or do I crave more flow right now? And focus there. Maybe your eyes, as you're thinking about these questions, maybe your eyes go to a specific bookshelf. Where do I crave more beauty, more ease, or more flow? Maybe it's to a desk. Maybe it's to a sitting area off in the corner. Tip number 2 is tune into how you want to feel. Great time for journaling. So before you start thinking, oh my gosh, overwhelm, think about what feeling you want this space to hold. Do you want it to be calming and restful? Do you want it to feel very inspired and creative? Do you want it to feel cozy? And then let that emotion guide your choices. Next is let the space speak. I've been talking a lot about listening to your home. And I know it sounds woo and out there to some people, but I encourage you to spend time in your space, quiet and still. And notice the items. And I get it. Sometimes it's hard. We're busy, we're going. But if you can find even just a few minutes to slow down, sit down in the room and look. And listen. Just look around, listen, and see what you're experiencing. Do you have a thrifted chair that has a statement? Is it good? Is it bad? How do you feel about it, right? Maybe there's a handpiece of a piece of pottery that you love. Is it radiating that love to you? Maybe you have a piece of art on the wall that it's got something to say and it's from your past and it's not saying very good things about you, about this home, about your life. And it's time to rinse that out. So remember that your home is not a project. It's a partnership. As you grow, it grows. As you modify it, you become different. It shifts, you shift. You shift, it shifts. It evolves. You both evolve. So slow decorating reminds us that we don't need to rush this process. We can allow beauty and function and soul to all emerge over time, layer by layer, piece by piece. So if you're in a season where your space feels incomplete, feels messy, unfinished, or just doesn't speak to you, I want you to think about this. You're not behind, you're in process. You're not failing because your space isn't amazing. It doesn't light you up. That's okay. You're in process of moving forward, slowly decorating with intention. And gosh, that's a really beautiful place to be, moving forward. Thank you for spending time with me today. If this episode resonated, I would love it if you would share it with a friend, or leave a review, tap the like, the follow, all the good stuff. Take care, friends. I'll see you soon. Special thanks to our sponsor, Elevated Living School of Holistic Design and Feng Shui. For more information, head over to the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time.